Hiya fishy folks, and welcome back to Michael's Fishing. Today we're going to be talking about water changes. How much water to change, when to change, why do we change it, and even some tips and tricks. So this question does come from social media, and actually a customer of mine sent me an email, and it reminded me that I should update the video I did about 5 years ago. I did a video on the subject. Put the link up here. Take a look. Laugh. It sucks. It's terrible. I'm embarrassed, but it is what it is. So the question that we need to answer, no. So the question is, why do we change water? And the answer is simple: to remove nitrates. Now there are some other reasons, hormones or other toxins in the water, sure, but in a regular situation, normal maintenance, we change water to remove nitrates. Now, what are nitrates? I have a video on the nitrogen cycle. If you're not sure what nitrates are or how the cycle works, pause the video, click on this link up here, watch that video, and then come on back. Nitrates are a byproduct of the nitrogen cycle, and in regular lowish doses, up to 40 parts per million, say, nitrates are not harmful to our fish. Now, some fish are more sensitive, sure, but this is a general video, so I'm talking in general terms. I have seen or heard of some studies where they've done tests and they've seen up to like 300 parts per million nitrate and the fish are fine. And that's okay. I'm going to go with 40 parts per million because that's what I've always done. It's always worked for me. And it's an easy number to divide. So at 40 parts per million, I recommend changing water. But Mike, how much water? Great question. 50% water change is what I recommend. Now, let's do some math, right? 40 parts per million times 50% equals, take your shoes off if you need to, that's right, 20 parts per million. So, if we change 50% water, in theory, our nitrates should go down to 20 parts per million. And there you have it. That's when I believe you should change water, at a specific nitrate level. Now, I see many people that say, I change X amount of water every week and that works for me. Great. I am a big proponent of, if it works for you, it's right for you. I'm not saying you should change what you do, but when people ask about water changes, this is how I answer, and you can certainly share this video if you see it on social media, if you believe the answer is the best answer. So, when we change the water, when the nitrate reaches 40 parts per million. But how long does it take to get there? That's something you need to figure out. So this assumes your tank is stable, and there aren't very many changes, including changing your food, adding fish, feeding extra, whatever. All that can affect the nitrate level. So what I recommend to do is change 50% of your water, get it down to 20 parts per million, or whatever number you think is best, and then start checking your nitrate level over a few days to see when you reach 40 parts per million. Let's just say in a standard community tank, 55 gallon that you have in the living room and everybody loves. You got glowfish, you got the sucker fish, you got the little Cory cats, and some schooling fish, tetras, whatever, a betta, it doesn't matter. You get what I'm saying, right? Just a regular community tank. Now, 20 parts per million, you start checking water day 5, day 7, finally day 10, you hit 40 parts per million. What do? Boom, simple. 50% water change, now you're down to 20 parts per million nitrate. That's it. It's very simple. Now, some people are schedule oriented. Every Sunday they have to change water in their tank, and that's fine. I'm not saying to change it, not saying my way is the best way. It's my way to do it, and it makes the most sense logically to yours truly. That's why I'm sharing it. Now, if you change water once a week but your nitrate level hasn't reached that 40 part per million number and your fish are doing great, continue. It's fine. But you could save time and money by waiting. It wouldn't hurt. Now, if you're concerned, if you're worried that that might affect your fish, you can always wait and keep an eye on them and see what happens. It's not rocket science. Don't overthink it. Again, if what you're doing works for you, continue to do it. If you want to try something else, this is a good way. All right. We talked about why we change water, to remove nitrates. We talked about when to change water, when your water reaches a specific level of nitrate. In this case, I suggest 40 parts per million. We talked about how much water to change. I'm fine. I recommend 50%, which will bring your water level down to 20 parts per million. And then we talked about when to change water again, when the nitrate reaches 40 parts per million again. And it's that simple. Now some tips and tricks. I recommend Fritz Complete as my water conditioner. Actually, I use Fritz ACCR upstairs in the one tank that's not on the auto water change system. It's the powdered version of Complete, which is similar to Seachem Safe, which is the powdered version of Prime. I'm fine. I personally recommend draining the amount of water you're going to change. Again, not rocket science. You can just sort of eye it. Oh, I have a 55 gallon. Do I need to change 27 and a half gallons? No, you could change 28. You could change 30. You could change 20. Approximately 50%. Don't overthink it. I would drain the water, add the water conditioner for the entire volume of the tank. Then fill your water up. Does the temperature have to be the same? Does it have to be identical? No. Should it be close? Yes. I use my calibrated finger to measure temperature. Oh, here's the temperature of the tank. Here's the temperature of the water coming out of the tap. Boom. We're good. Now, in the fish room, when I do manual water changes, I have a thermostatic valve, so the water comes out the same temperature always, which is about the temperatures of the tank. So, yeah. I think that's it. I think people overthink water changes and they really shouldn't. Now, if you've done a water change and then fish die right after, most likely it's your fault. I'm sorry. It is. The water temperature was too hot or too cold. You forgot the dechlorinator. You didn't add enough dechlorinator or water conditioner. What else? Oh, the pH is significantly different from the tap, which happens. And something you do to check that is take a container, fill with water. This is a dip and pour. Measure the pH. Actually, measure all the parameters, but I would just measure the pH for this test. And come back 24 hours later, see what the pH is. If it's dropped significantly, most likely your water company is adding chemicals to maintain a specific pH range. And that kind of sucks, but it's good that you know that. In addition, I recommend checking your water source a few times a year. Certainly at every change of season, sometimes after big storms or during a drought. And the reason is your municipality or whomever is in charge of your water, of course, not a well, but city water, they can add additional chemicals as regular maintenance. They can add additional chemicals because it rained or they want to clean out their system. They've done some tests. Whatever the reason, they can add additional chlorine or chloramine or other chemicals that could affect your water parameters, so you should check it. I personally check my water 4 times a year from the source, and I learned the hard way years and years ago that could happen. So take my advice, learn from my experience, check your water from the source a couple times a year at least. All right, fishy folks, if you like this kind of content, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and share with your friends. Don't forget, michaelsfishroom.com is where you can buy all the fish that you see in the fish room. And if you're looking for something special, email me, and I will do my best to get it. I can't guarantee it, but I will do my best. So, guys, I hope you liked the video. Have a great day. Peace out.